had I would call any tornado a major tornado, but we had this tornado move through some open land near Hickory and Sulphur. Some debris hit our storm chaser's vehicle. If you heard that or you witnessed it, again, they are okay. They're still out chasing for us right now. But wanted to talk about the elements today. So flooding, hail, tornado. What's the biggest threat today, Dana?
Well, it's all they all carry their own unique threats, and they're all have their hierarchy on the scale here. And of course, it's we really are just most concerned about what's the biggest threat for you, because we're going to see different risks, different threats across the state. Western, northwestern Oklahoma, your threat for this evening and this afternoon will be hail. So your friends there in Viside, as they went outside, it's cold in Viside right now. It's 49 degrees. So we're not going to see any type of tornadic storms in western and northwestern Oklahoma with temperatures in the 40s. But if you're in Oklahoma City, down to the south or east of I-35, what are you most concerned about? You're most concerned about the tornado threat for today, rightfully so. I mean, this is what we've already had happen today, and we're likely going to see that risk again as we go into the afternoon. And then flooding is definitely going to be a concern as well, especially for Oklahoma City and those areas that have those low-lying spots can typically flood very quickly. We had some thunderstorms that came in here early this morning. Fortunately, all the runoff that we had from those storms are now pretty much have made their way into the ditches and into the creek. So doing okay with that, but still, a lot of us that have at least some farmland, the last thing you probably want to see right now is more rain coming in. I know we always say rain's a good thing. We always need rain. Our soil is incredibly wet right now, and it's wet very deep down, which means that adding more rain on top of it could actually be even more harmful to crops. So we all pretty much have different threats that affect us all, but it all kind of falls under the same umbrella. There being a risk for severe weather this afternoon, there being a risk for tornadoes. Tornado watch continues, and we're likely going to see that threat continue as we go up to about 11 o'clock tonight with that watch. So Abigail, over to you back at the news desk for an update.
All right, we got this from field meteorologist Michael Armstrong as he was chasing in Cushing. This is the east side of Cushing, some damage to a roof. You see first responders there. Here is the video. Looks like it's also some damage to a fence. Did a tornado move through Cushing, or is this just straight line wind damage? Oh, ripped the side off of a building there as well. We did have a tornado in Cushing, right?
Yeah. We did have a tornado warning there in Cushing there, Abigail. Okay. So, and when Michael was there interviewing some people, they did say that, yeah, we did see a tornado come right through here. So that was part of the first tornado warning that we had that started down by Tryon, and Agra moved up towards Avery, and then Cushing, and that storm is still ongoing, although it's no longer tornado warned, as it goes up towards Tulsa.
In that same area, some power outages in the Cushing area. Again, Stillwater Public Schools, early release if you want to come pick up your children. Stillwater over there by Cushing. Yeah, it looks like some trees, some tree limbs. First responders responding to this with the fences down, siding ripped off of a building. So these storms are powerful, no doubt about it, moving through the Cushing area. Let me get the update on power outages for you. For Cushing and for the Stillwater area, I'm checking the Oklahoma Electric Co-op. We're about at 500 right now, customers without power there. And then we also have close to 150 here in the Oklahoma City Metro with OG&E. And as we look at this map here, Damon, I think it's important to note the huge difference. We have 47 up in Guymon, the temperature there, down to 78 near the Oklahoma-Texas line. And it's that line that is creating this instability. And look at the orange part of the state where it's a little bit warmer. Is it fair to say that that's probably where you're seeing the highest threat for a tornado? I believe that's what all is in that enhanced risk on our scale,
yes,
because it's a little bit warmer.
It absolutely
living in Oklahoma, you know what it feels like outside when we're in the prime conditions for a tornado.
Yeah, when you step outside, you can just feel it. You can feel that severe weather that's possible today. You can feel that humidity. You can feel that stable atmosphere. And so we're definitely very unstable right about here. So again, that's going to be the concern for us today. Western and northwestern Oklahoma right now, temperatures, we're in the 50s and 40s. So any storms that come into that zone are going to be more so a hail threat, not so much a severe weather risk. So still watching closely for that risk of storms to come in. Right now, got a couple storms out on the radar, a couple showers. These are not severe. We just had a severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued just moments ago for Major and Woods County. For this cluster that you see up here, that's going to have some hail. Now, typically these cold atmospheres are more hail producers, so this is going to be a hail threat. You can see it right there from Cleo Springs up to Fairview. A couple hail cores moving up to the northeast here. So again, there's going to be a pocket of at least some slightly larger hail. That's going to be pushing up to close to about a $50 size. the southwest of Cleo Springs, they're not close to a ping pong ball, if not almost the size of a lime, at least with our radar sampling that core right there. So large hail core there, you can see it right now. Severe thunderstorm warning was just issued. That moves up to the northeast. Not much of a high rating on our tornado index scale. We don't have a tornado watch here, so it's only at a 3, but you can see the max hail size. Last radar scan just brought down that hail core, now from 2 inches now down to 1.5 inches. But that track moves up to the northeast. Carmen 223, McWillie 225, Tacoma and Helena right around 230. Anyone that's in these towns right here, what do you need to be on the lookout for? Hail up to the size of $50. Also quite a bit of lightning. There's a good amount of electricity. You can see all the lightning strikes within this with this cell moving up to the northeast very quickly at a speed of over 50 miles per hour. Fast moving storm, so it's not going to be in Oklahoma for very long. But right now with our storm impact and what this allows us to do, we're cleaning up the radar here. So green is rain, purple and pink is hail. So this is all just rain, and then the hail core is going to be located just west of Fairview, just southwest of Cleo Springs, moving up to the northeast here very quickly. Again, at speeds of about 50 plus miles per hour. So severe thunderstorm warning continues with this cell, and it's not going to be in Oklahoma for very long, as you can imagine, when it's moving that fast. It will make its way eventually towards Cleo Springs and then up towards Jet. So these storms in northern and western Oklahoma, hail producers not looking at a tornado risk at all with this cell right here. As you can see, that severe thunderstorm warning will go until 2:15. It is currently 1:40, so we still have about another 35 minutes with this severe thunderstorm warning. This is our first warning that we've really had in central Oklahoma for, well, probably since for about an hour or so now. So there's an update right there, is that the severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued for that cell. And again, right now, south and southwest of Oklahoma City, we are doing A-OK as far as there not being any storms. And while that's okay for the now term, that's not okay for the long term, is that atmosphere is going to continue to become quite unstable with this tornado watch remains in effect until 11 o'clock. Tornado watch not for western and northwestern Oklahoma. That tornado watch is going to be for Oklahoma City, down to the south and down to the southwest. As you go to the east here. I believe I'm going to need to change my battery real quick, so let me send it back to Abigail for an update.
No problem. Parents, if you're watching right now, 1:40, I know this is the time that you're looking, should I go pick up my child from school? So right now we have the Oklahoma City Public Schools. They have canceled all evening activities, sports, whatever they have going on. Not happening tonight, just in anticipation of the severe weather that could continue to move through. Stillwater, early release. That does not mean they've canceled class. It means you were able to come pick up your student. Same situation and more. Your student is still in the classroom, but if you want to go pick up your child, you can. They are allowing early release there. The OSU baseball game has been canceled. But again, this is all because of what we are anticipating later. And if you're just now joining, in the upper left-hand corner there, that was a tornado from earlier that KOCO storm chaser Stephen Jones caught. And if you were watching, you saw some debris fly into his storm chasing vehicle. He is okay. He is still chasing for us. It was a close call, but they are still all right. Let me get an update for you real quick on some of these power outages. And it's a good time. If you still have power and you're still watching KOCO 5 News, make sure that phone is charged or you have a radio, because Damon, these power outages have nearly tripled. Talking about my friends with the Oklahoma Electric Co-op, now at close to 1,200 up near Woodward. By the Oklahoma-Kansas line. We have some down maybe near the Ada area in southern Oklahoma, and then down in far southeastern Oklahoma without power there as well. So that's the Oklahoma Electric Co-op without power. Get those phones charged. Make sure you have the KOCO app. And then 161 without power right here in the Oklahoma City metro. Again, we have some video from earlier, and we'll get that aired for you. We had some flooding in Edmond. We have the damage in Cushing, and then again, that tornado that we are just playing on a loop for you, not live, that is playing on a loop for you to show you what these conditions are like today, moving into the evening hours. And really, you know, living in Oklahoma my whole life, Damon, I always think of 3 o'clock kind of as the sweet spot. I know that's not necessarily true, given what we saw today about noon, but 3 o'clock is always, to me, what I think about as the target zone. Is that what you're thinking too, that things could ramp back up around 3, or it could be any time?
Yeah, maybe about 6 o'clock is going to be that window that we're going to start seeing more storms going up. And once again, I cannot hit the message hard enough. about the threat that we're likely to see move in as we go during the afternoon commute. If you need to leave, you're saying, look, I want to get home before storms begin to develop. I don't want to be on the highways when we have storms coming in. Whatever, if you need to leave, just make sure you're home by 4 o'clock. That's probably going to be at least the time frame for Oklahoma City. We'll see storms begin to develop southwest, but still, make sure that you can get home by 4 o'clock. If you can't leave the office early today and you need to stay, you very well might just need to stay until the storms have gone through here, because the last thing again you want to do is be on the highway when you have storms coming through here. It's not going to be a fun drive home at all. So if you need to leave, go home, be home by 4 o'clock. Otherwise, stay at your office and just wait for a while until these storms have moved on out of here, because just look at this is not good. I like the fact that we don't have any tornado warnings right now from Oklahoma City, down the Chickasha, Marlow, out towards Lindsay, Wayne, Pauls Valley. But at the same time, what this atmosphere is doing right now is starting to become very much unstable. Very much unstable. And so any storm that starts to move into this area, need to watch it. We might be starting to see a cell going up very close to Alec and Bradley. We'll have to keep a close eye on this radar echo right here. Notice how it's moving up to the north. This is an atmosphere that has a tremendous amount of instability that is currently in place. And so that right there, that definitely is going to be a concern for us as we are watching that little echo. Might not look like much right now, but definitely could turn into something a little bit more significant as we go into the afternoon, knowing exactly what we have in place. How significant is today? The National Weather Service, they typically launch their weather balloons. They're very much scheduled. They are actually doing special weather soundings in order to get a better understanding of the atmosphere for today. So we have a lot of resources that are currently being used from a meteorological standpoint today. And we had an earlier sounding that suggested that we might actually have a little bit more shear in the atmosphere than some of the weather models were portraying. So you get those weather balloon soundings to go up. They give us information that sometimes the data may not tell you, and so we have a little bit more shear, and that is why the tornado probability and the tornado risk was increased today because of that threat right now, that threat that we're going to be seeing this afternoon. And we're about to get another sounding that's going to go up, and so definitely we're going to get some vital information coming out of that as well. But for the meantime, right now things are very much on the quiet side for much of the state, with the exception of right now statewide 2 severe thunderstorm warnings, 1 north of Tulsa, and then 1 as you go east of Woodward. Both of those are going to be on the are going to be for hail up about the size of quarters. We can see right now that boundary, or that unstable air mass, is currently moving. It looks like it's trying to get a little bit more of a northward jog, but it does cut right through Oklahoma City. You can see it from Choctaw towards I-240 down to the airport, and it does go down by the Tuttle, Pocasset, Amber area, and that is going to be very important for us in determining exactly where that risk for severe weather is going to be most intense. So we see it right now cutting right through Oklahoma City, and that is why we have this. That is why we currently have a tornado watch in effect. And that's why this watch goes until about 11 o'clock. So you can see the boundary pretty much cuts right like this. I might actually kind of drape down a little bit here. You can sometimes pick it up here in the radar as Jonathan is looking at. So we're looking for the boundary, but definitely if you're driving from Norman up to Edmond, you would probably go from an air mass of about 75 to 55 degrees. That's the kind of temperature difference that we have. Remember, the warmer air tends to be much more unstable. So right now, parents that are getting ready to pick up their children from school, there are no storms, no warnings, so you don't have to worry about at least you encountering anything significant as you're going to pick your children up from school. But again, after 4 o'clock, well, make sure you're home. Abigail, back to you.
I have a couple friends watching in the Ada area, Pontotoc County, because we have a crew live in the lower left-hand corner of your screen near Ada. We had a thunder warning and a tornado warning in Pontotoc County earlier today in the Ada area. I'm also seeing some power outages in that area, Damon. I want to ask you, Pontotoc County tornado warning has been allowed to expire. People just a little bit nervous, wondering why that crew is still there. They are tracking Ada. That's kind of a sweet spot when we're looking at our map, where the temperatures and the conditions are unfortunately prime for a tornado today in that enhanced area on our scale, especially the timeline, again, 3 to 6 p.m. today. But right now, my friends in Ada, I believe that tornado warning in Pontotoc, Damon, has been allowed to be expired at this point. It's just that Ada is right there on the map. My friends too in Stratford down there in Pontotoc County, right there in that enhanced area. So they're wondering, are you in Ada right now because there's a tornado right now? No, there was a tornado warning earlier, but right now things are calm there, but unfortunately it could ramp back up in just a couple hours.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can see kind of a good idea of where our crews are. So yeah, Stephen Jones is down in Ada because we're going to see that risk pick back up again for those that are in Ada, down towards Wynnewood, Davis, Turner Falls. Nick Smith is currently in Chickasha. There's Chris Lee, Storm Command. They're going to be repositioning back down to the south. And what Jonathan is currently doing is he's drawing on the front. And this is going to be a very good indicator as to where we're going to see the higher end severe weather threat. And this front's going to likely lift up to the north. So even though downtown Oklahoma City, it's cool, it's cloudy, it's foggy, I expect that this front's going to lift just a little bit more up to the north. And that's what we're doing now. We are microcasting, trying to figure out if the front's going to be in Moore or it's going to be near Tinker Air Force Base. So we do this live on air, but this is going to be a very big player. This will be the main player in determining where that risk for severe weather is going to set up for today and where it will not. Right now, with most of the data that we have coming in, suggests that this front's going to lift up towards downtown Oklahoma City in the Village area. Now, Canadian County, El Reno, you're not in the tornado watch. We'll watch it closely, but right now you're not in that tornado watch. So we expect that front will probably stop very close to the Yukon-Piedmont area. Very well could lift north of Tuttle up towards Union City. So Nick Smith, he's been sending in some reports throughout the morning, saying, look, my winds keep going back and forth, north-south, north-south. So that front's kind of sloshing around a little bit near Chickasha. I expect that eventually it's going to move up a little bit more towards Minko and Tuttle here. And so Chickasha, you too, will very much be in that risk for severe weather as we go into the afternoon. Same thing from Moore to Norman, down towards Slaughterville, Lexington, Wayne. Shawnee, you're included in that as well. Same thing out towards Seminole and towards Holdenville, Wetumpka, and Okemah. Definitely looking at a higher end risk for severe weather as we go into the afternoon. And really that 3 to 6 o'clock hour is when storms begin to develop. But really, by 4 o'clock, they're going to be quite significant as they continue to move in here. So we're watching every little shift closely, every change closely. We do have a tornado warning, by the way, that is going to be about across Osage County, north of Tulsa. So we now do have at least one tornado warning in the state. That's headed up towards Bartlesville, headed away from Oklahoma City. That's not a concern for us. You have a couple showers ongoing right now out across the Edmond area. Those are not a concern, and Jonathan is currently looking at some of the rotation that's ongoing in that tornado warning up to the north. There are a couple showers up towards the Edmond area, Frontier City, as you go towards Deer Creek High School, towards Mitch Park. As we zoom in here, you can see a couple brief heavy downpours right along Covell as you go all the way out towards around Boulevard, and as you make your way up towards eventually Guthrie. But as of right now, those showers are not to be concerned about. I don't think those are going to do anything at all. So we're in a little bit of a lull right now, which is good. But we're not going to be going anywhere as we go into the afternoon. We are going to take a little bit of a break at about 2 o'clock before our next wave of storms moves in. But I do want everyone to take this time right now to charge your cell phone devices. And if you have not yet downloaded the KOCO 5 mobile app, make sure you go ahead and do so. We go where you go. Should you lose power, we will still be here broadcasting for you. And if you have to step away during the afternoon, we have personalized alerts that we can send to you that will allow you to receive the important weather information that you need to receive should you be away from your TV set as well. So again, download the KOCO 5 mobile app if you haven't done so already. And again, we can walk you through how to get those personalized alerts there sent to you. Very easy to do and very, very important to have on a day like today. Abigail, over to you.
I just wanted to show everyone at home earlier how strong these winds were. Look at this. This was a semi-crash again. This was earlier around noon. KOCO photojournalist Brian Dixon, who's been doing this a long time, it came across this at I-44 near Western. Looks like this semi jackknifed and then somehow ended up over the median. When those winds get going, and they can really catch you off guard too, those semis, they are no match for this Oklahoma wind, and they had quite a lot of cleanup there. I mean, yeah, look at that. Traffic's still slow in that area. This is going to be over there, I-44 near Western. kind of in the Penn Square Mall area, Damon. So again, as you're traveling and as you're kind of debating, do I want to do these afternoon activities? Do I want to go pick up my child now or later? It's not just you have to worry about on the roads. We have these semi drivers and they do a great job, but unfortunately the cards are stacked against them when it comes to wind, and it can pick up like that. And you see the scene here, jackknife semi somehow over the median. This was about 2 hours ago, noon, I-44 near Western. Also just got a message in on Facebook. Very specific, Damon. I know we can't do this for everyone's town, but someone just said, can I expect a tornado in Edmond? I would say the answer is yes. You can expect a tornado really in that path of the state, in the enhanced area today. I mean, don't let your guard down. We are going to take a quick break about 2 o'clock, but then we're going to come back because that 3 to 6 timeline, as typical here in Oklahoma, that is when we could see these storms ramp back up. And you're watching on the upper left hand, again, that just video on loop from storm chaser Stephen Jones up near Sulphur. That tornado went through, really across them, kissed them, as we say. The debris hit their car, but that's what the atmosphere is like today. And it's really kind of a diagonal line slicing our state. Northwestern Oklahoma, where it's pretty cold up there, my friends in Visay, Woodward, the Panhandle. You're saying that hail is still a risk there, Damon, but tornado threat not as high. But our friends on the other side of the state, southeastern Oklahoma, northeastern Oklahoma, the Oklahoma City Metro, Ada, Edmond, it could happen today, so you cannot let your guard down.
So to answer your friend that asked about Edmond, if Edmond's in the tornado watch, so yes, for anyone that says, could I have a tornado today? If you are in the tornado watch, then you very well could. As a matter of fact, we'll pop up that tornado watch and show everyone who's included in the tornado watch for today. Because again, OKC, Edmond, Guthrie, Stillwater included in the tornado watch, Moore, Norman down to Ardmore included in the tornado watch, Chickasha down to Lawton included in the tornado watch. So anyone, if you're asking at home right now and saying, will I see a tornado today? Could I see a tornado today? Yes, you could if you're in this tornado watch. Western, northwestern, northern Oklahoma, you're not included in the tornado watch. Things are looking a little bit better there, and so your biggest threat will be hail as we go into the evening here. So once again, Clinton, Woodward, hail threat for you. Enid, hail threat. Medford, hail threat. Elk City, it's a hail threat. Altus, it's a hail threat. But Oklahoma City, Midwest City, Shawnee, Seminole, down to Purcell, Pauls Valley, Ardmore, it's a tornado threat that you're watching closely for tonight. And as you can see on the bottom of your screen, this tornado watch, all these counties here in green, this tornado watch takes us into effect until 11 o'clock. It's a very large tornado watch that we're talking about here for central and eastern Oklahoma. Right now, we do not have any tornado warnings in central Oklahoma. We do have one at least up towards the Tulsa area, which we'll be watching. It's that same line of storms that we had that moved through Tryon, Agra, Avery, that line and cluster storms that we had earlier. But in the meantime, things are looking much quieter right now for the short term. Although if you look outside your window, if you see sunshine, it's not good. Minco Tuttle included in the tornado watch, Chickasha included in the tornado watch, Lindsay included, Pauls Valley, Purcell, Ada. I know a lot of us say, well, where am I on the map? So find where you are. Kingfisher, you're not in the tornado watch. Hinton, Clinton, Weatherford, you're not included in the tornado watch. But Bell Cow Lake, Prague Lake, Shawnee, Seminole, Cromwell, Wawoka, down towards Ada, Pauls Valley, all in southern Oklahoma, you're included in this tornado watch. Now, I expect that what's going to happen as we go into the evening is that we'll see storms develop here, and then as we go throughout the night, once the storms move east, then we're going to start to chop away at the tornado watch. So I don't want you thinking that we're going to see tornadoes until 11 o'clock. Really, we're probably going to see tornadoes for central Oklahoma. That threat's going to wrap up by about 8 o'clock. As we look at the big picture right now, starting to see more storms going up down by Abilene, and eventually these are going to move up into this very unstable air mass, and they're going to become even more significant. So here we go. We can see those storms developing right along I-20, out across the Texas area, Brownwood, Abilene, up towards Graham, Texas, Mineral Wells, headed up towards Wichita Falls. You see all these little echoes right here. As these encounter a more unstable atmosphere, I expect that these elevated storms right here, these showers, are going to become more surface base. They're going to drop closer to the ground, and they're going to start to rotate here. So storms are now going up. We're still looking into Texas right now, so we still have a couple hours to go before these storms are going to make their way into Oklahoma. But once these storms move into Oklahoma, north of the Red River, they're going to become very unstable. Look at all this untouched air mass right here. This is very unstable. Storms up to the north, severe quarter-size hail, very clear, very dry down to the south. And so some of those echoes are now telling us exactly what we do not want to see as we go into the afternoon, and that is going to be the risk for severe weather to begin to take it up a couple notches. So once again, today's going to be one of those days where you can expect that we're going to be here bringing you all the information that you need. We're going to be doing weather coverage for a while this afternoon, but at least for the time being, if there's anywhere that you need to go, if you need to run to the store, if you need to charge your phone, if you need to go pick up the children from school, the next 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours, are doing just fine, okay? However, that window is quickly beginning to close in, I'm afraid to say, as we're starting to see more cells starting to pop up on the radar. These are north of the boundary here, so these are going to be more hail producers, but we are going to see many more storms begin to form on the radar as we go towards that 3, 4, 5 o'clock hour. And as I said before, if you need to go home, just make sure that you're home by 4 o'clock. Charge up your cell phone devices. If you need to clean out your tornado shelter, use this time now to clean out your tornado shelter, as I expect that we're going to see a few more tornado warnings issued today from Oklahoma City down to Rush Springs, Elmore City, Wayne, Pauls Valley. This zone right here is going to be of particular concern as we go throughout the afternoon. So Nick Smith is waiting in Chickasha. He'll be joining us in the coverage this afternoon. Stephen Jones has already intercepted this one tornado. You see it there in the top of your left-hand television screen. He'll be here. Chris Lee, Storm Command, and Sky 5 will also be part of the coverage as well. So we have been doing this weather coverage since we had our very first tornado warning issued earlier today at about 10:30. It is currently 2 o'clock, so once again, we're in a little bit of a break in this activity. We're going to use this time to once again put together the rest of our coverage for this afternoon and allow you to do whatever it is that you need to do before this next wave of storms is going to develop. But just remember, a tornado watch remains in effect until 11 o'clock, and if you are going to be out this afternoon, please make sure that you get home by 4 o'clock. Keep it with KOCO 5 News. We'll bring you the first alert.